Hi, welcome to GK Marine Tech. Today's video, it is a continuation of refrigeration and air conditioning system. Today what we are going to discuss is how to read the pressures. There are three pressures. Last class we saw about it. Suction pressure, discharge pressure and Lub oil pressure. Okay. So how to read it? How to write it in the logbook. So if you don't know how to read it, then definitely you will troubleshooting and then maintenance, everything will be the problem. Okay. So how to read it, I want to show, and at the same time how it is connected. All the pressure switches and manometers, how it is connected with the system. Just for idea, I am going to explain this so that you can clearly understand how to read it. Okay. So this is the compressor. This compressor, you see some difference is there here. So the suction point is not directly to the top of the piston. Okay. So it is not directly connected to the top of the piston. All the compressors like that. There is a meaning is there. One by one, next classes we will discuss about it. Why we are giving into the crankcase. This is called crankcase, right? Why we are giving the suction line to the crankcase, and from the crankcase we are passing the gas to the top of the piston where it is getting compressed. So why we are doing? The main reason is that this return gas is having some kind of lube oil also in that, because some carryover oil also will come back, and also there is no cooler for this lube oil. So lube oil also will get heat up, no? So for cooling that compressor and same time cooling the oil, we don't want external cooler, additional cooler for it. The same gas itself, it is having a low temperature, that gas itself cooling the lube oil and then compressor also. Okay. So only empty compressor if you are running, it cannot control. The temperature will go abnormal. So the gas should be there, then only the compressor will be in the normal state. Okay. So that is why we are giving this into the crankcase. So in the crankcase, the oil is getting cool. Same time, this gas is all the oil is separated to the crankcase, and only the gas is going to the top of the compressor. Okay. So by any means, if any problem with the expansion valve, some liquid is coming back also, it will get evaporated here and then it will go. So liquid will not directly injected to the top of the piston. Okay. So why I want to say in the chapter of reading the pressure, there is a point is there, that is why I am telling. Okay. So suction pressure is coming to the crankcase, and from the crankcase to the suction, top of the piston in the suction through the suction valve, and discharge valve as usual it is going out like a normal air compressor. Okay. So now from suction you want to measure the pressure, there is no problem. We can give the manometer here, that is a suction pressure, that is called low pressure also. Sometimes we used to call low pressure LP, but it is a suction pressure. That is a return from the evaporator, and for that there is a switch. This switch is for, and if suppose the gas is not coming because of the expansion valve is getting closed and there is no gas flow in the system return line, then compressor should not run unnecessarily. Okay, without gas. That is also, I told you, the same gas is going to cool the compressor. If you are not stopping if you are not allowing the gas here, gas is not coming here, but still continuously you are running the compressor will get heat up and your oil will get heat up. If the oil is heating up, lube oil property will go and then lube oil pressure will drop. Okay. So without gas, the compressor should not run. That is why they given the pressure switch here. This pressure switch, what will happen? If it is a low pressure, below suppose for example 0.5 bar you kept it, the setting is 0.5 bar, then the pressure is coming below 0.5 bar, then the compressor will switch off, compressor will stop, and again the pressure, this is auto, it is not having a reset, it is auto reset. So if the pressure is coming above 0.5, then automatically compressor will start. So always you remember, LP is auto reset pressure switch. You need not go and every time to reset it. If the pressure is low, automatically compressor stop. If pressure is coming up, again automatically start. Okay, you clearly understand, juniors. Seniors, they know about it, but anyway you refresh it. Okay, discharge is having the same system. We have a pressure switch and we have a pressure gauge also. Pressure gauge is for monitoring how much pressure is there. Pressure switch is only for electrical system. It is a safeguard. Okay. So the pressure switch we are keeping at 22 bar, for example. Normally 22 bar we used to keep, 22, 23 like that. So 22 bar if you are keeping, 23 bar if you are keeping, then the pressure is reaching 23 bar. It will cut off the compressor. It will cut off the compressor to safeguard this compressor, because the compressor cannot handle more than that pressure. Okay. So we have to stop the compressor by the pressure switch. After that, it should not start, because the high pressure is coming means something wrong. Somewhere something wrong. Maybe your cooling is not proper, or some other means it is getting over pressure. Okay. So we don't want the compressor to start automatically. So what we do here, it is not auto reset, it is a manual reset. So if the pressure is coming and it is initiated the high pressure switch and it is stopped the compressor, it will give an alarm to you, and the alarm will be there. So you can come to the compartment, AC compartment or reefer compartment, then you can see what reason it is stripped. So you can easily understand, because of the high pressure it is stripped. And in this pressure switch there is a reset button, and if you press the reset button, then it will start initiating the cycle. Okay. So this is the method. So it is having auto reset, it is a manual reset. Got it? This is for suction pressure and discharge pressure. Okay. That is very simple. There is no complication in that. They are given directly. But lube oil pressure. Lube oil pressure, what we are doing, this is the pump, inbuilt pump connected to the crankshaft of the compressor, one end of the compressor, and it is having a gear pump or some other vane pump or globe pump, some pump will be there. So the pump, what is taking, it is taking the oil inside the crankcase, and building the pressure to the lube oil pressure, required lube oil pressure, and giving to the system where it want. Normally bearing lubrication we are using this. Some ships they are using this same lube oil for unloader. It is a multi-cylinder. We want to unload some cylinders, then we are using this oil. Otherwise, this oil only using for bearing crankshaft bearing lubrication, crank bearing lubrication. Okay. So this oil, it is taking from the crankcase, but crankcase is connected to the suction pressure. Suppose suction pressure is 5 bar. Then how much is the crankcase pressure? Crankcase pressure also 5 bar. Correct. Crankcase pressure also 5 bar. Then the pump is taking from the 5 bar pressure oil. It is not taking from the atmospheric pressure oil. It is taking from the 5 bar pressure oil, and pump has to be developed 3 bar pressure for lube oil. Got it? So if the pump is developing 3 bar, so 5 plus 3, the oil pressure will be 8 bar. Correct? Oil pressure will be 8 bar. If suppose this is a 4 bar, then this pressure will be 7 bar. So the oil pressure is varying, depends on suction pressure. Suction pressure automatically vary. If it is the room is getting cooled or a compartment is getting cooled, then automatically expansion valve will throttle the gas. The gas will not come back. Gas is not coming back. Then the suction pressure will drop to minimum. If too much minimum, the compressor will stop. Right? So this is a variable. This is not a constant. So this is going to the crankcase. So crankcase pressure also variable. But pump is making 3 bar. That is constant. So if this is variable, pump is making 3 bar, then output pressure also variable. Depends upon the suction pressure. So output oil pressure is actually suction pressure plus this pump creating pressure. You have to understand that. So if you want to set a safety switch in the lube oil, if it is a lube oil drop down below suppose 1 bar, 3 bar I told you it is producing, but we will keep it as a alarm or a cutout. We want to cut out, we don't want alarm. If any low pressure, the compressor has to stop to save the compressor. Okay. So the pressure is dropped below 1 bar. We are setting a lube oil pressure switch below 1 bar. Then the pressure drops below 1 bar. The compressor will stop, and it is also manual reset. It will not reset its own. So you have to come there. You have to find out why the oil pressure is dropped. Maybe here any suction filter is there, suction filter choke, or no oil in that. Sometimes the oil is carryover in the system. sometime you will get the low pressure, right? Otherwise the oil is getting heat up. If you heat up, then low pressure will come. So we have to find out what reason it is tripped. Then you have to rectify it. Then you can manual reset and then start. Okay. But the problem is that how much has to set it in the pressure switch. Here we set it 0.5. Here we set it 23. But lube oil pressure switch, how much you should? We can set it 8 bar? No. Because 8 bar, when the suction pressure is 5. If suppose suction pressure is 2, then this will be 5. 5 is okay. So if you put it 8 bar, then suction pressure drop, then this will get initiated the stop. Okay. So we cannot set it. This is also variable. So we cannot fit a normal pressure switch in the lube oil system. What we have to do? We have to make a differential pressure switch. Differential in the means lube oil pressure, outlet pressure, and the suction pressure difference between lube oil pressure and suction pressure, that should be 3. That should not be go below 1. So that pressure you have to set. So for that there is a special differential pressure switch. Here both side there is a bellow, and this side lube oil pressure we are giving the connection. So that this bellow will expand depends on the lube oil pressure, and top bellow will expand depends on the suction pressure. So always the differential pressure we set it 1 bar. Okay. So if the difference is coming below 1 bar, then the switch will stop the compressor. For example, if it is a 0.5 and this is 3.5, compressor will not trip due to lube oil pressure. This you have to understand. Got it? So my point is that for reading, whenever you are taking the rounds, how you are monitoring. Suppose for example, there is no, this is a differential pressure switch. There is no dual pressure gauge to monitor. That is also I will explain. But here there is a 3 pressure gauges are there. 3 pressure monitors are there. So here LP you see, okay, good. It is working normal, and discharge pressure, it is around 17 bar. It is working good. It should not be less, it should not be more. It should be normally 17 bar is good. 17 to 20 bar is good. If it is not there, you increase to 17, 20 bar, then only you will get the proper compression. Okay. It should not be 10 bar. Okay. In cold region, sometimes the pressure will drop 10 bar, 11 bar. It should not be 11. It should always maintain 16 to 7, above 17. Okay. So now, if your lube oil pressure here, one manometer we fixed it. This is a simple manometer. It is just showing what is the pressure in the line. What it will show? It will show 8 bar. Correct? 8 bar. So 8 bar. Suppose, for example, here we are giving 5 bar. This pressure dropped to 5.5 bar. This is okay? You cannot see, sir, lube oil pressure is 5 bar, then it should work. No, lube oil pressure, it is a difference between these. Difference between these is how much? 0.5. 0.5 is a very, very less pressure. Definitely, this differential switch will trip due to the lube oil pressure. So, whenever you go, if you have only 3 gauges, make sure this lube oil pressure minus suction pressure, you check that is called lube oil pressure. That has to be right in the logbook. Not like directly to the lube oil pressure. It is not sense, correct? Because this pressure is varying, depends upon the suction pressure. So always the difference should be marked. Okay. So whenever you take round, make sure if you have to minus from the lube oil pressure to lube oil pressure minus suction pressure, check the lube oil pressure value. Then that is okay, means that is okay. Otherwise, you have to find out what is the reason why it is the pressure is less. Okay, that is why I want to tell you this is a very, very important. Even see some of the seniors, they don't know about this, and directly they are telling, so no, sir, lube oil pressure is 5, it is okay. But lube oil pressure is 5, this is 4 bar. That means lube oil pressure is 1 bar only. 1 bar is very less. It should be 3 bar, 2 bar, about 2 to 3 bar. Okay, when cold oil, it will be 4 bar also. Difference. Okay, so now you got the idea how it is connected, and the connection you see here, suction line given here. You check if you are in the onboard, if you are sailing in the ship, you check this, the system will be like this only. Normally we don't know everything inside the panel and only the gauges is outside. and normally junior engineers are taking the readings and they are directly see 3 readings and writing in the logbook. No, seniors please check like this and then confirm lube oil pressure is always okay. Okay, so now you got the idea, and here we have to minus because separate pressure gauge. There is one more gauge. Dual gauge, that is a differential pressure gauge. It used to call differential pressure gauge like this. Some reefer mechanism, yesterday last class also we discussed about this. Here there is a 2 pressure gauge, one in the other, and one pressure gauge, suction pressure gauge having the needle showing the suction pressure gauge, and center dial also another pressure gauge needle, but they remove the needle and they put the dial. So instead of needle turning, the center gauge will turn the dial. They remove the dial and they put the they remove the needle and they put the dial. So dial is moving. Instead of dial moving, instead of needle moving, the dial is rotating. Okay, why we want to see? We want to see the difference directly. So what to do? The marking is here. Then which one your pressure range scale? You check the suction pressure. So suction pressure is getting directly this reading showing the suction pressure, and lube oil pressure, if you want to see, you see the same reading in the movable dial where it is matching. Here it is matching around 1.4. 1.4 it is matching. So the lube oil pressure is 1.4. So if you want to write the lube oil pressure, check the internal dial and reading. If you want to check the suction pressure, check the outer dial and then needle. This is the method to read suction pressure, lube oil pressure and discharge pressure. Okay, and if it is a dual, it is very simple. Otherwise you have to minus manually and then you have to write it in the logbook. I think good information, this video, maybe you got it, and continue monitor my channel. Like this, a lot of important things practically when you are on board, what you are missing and what the new thing you have to understand. Continuously we will put it in the channel. So continuously monitor and share with your friends also, so everybody will get benefit. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye.